welcome to the show. We have Anirban with us, who is the co-founder and CMO at Let's DriEV. And Anirban, I'll let you tell us a little about what the company is and what problem are you solving.
So we are an urban commute company. So what we make for 18 to 25-year-olds, make their mobility more accessible to them. So with a twist, when everybody remembers that when they were 18 or 20, that's when the fight starts about owning a vehicle, right? Yeah. So take the traction away and friction away and make it very easy and accessible for everyone and affordable for everyone to have an access to mobility. So basically what we are able to do with an EV is, when you buy an EV, you buy the fuel along with them.
So only EVs, you deal with only EVs?
Yes, we do not shout that out at the top of our voice, because actually when you look at the bigger game, it's more about solving urban commute.
The two-wheeler problem.
The two-wheeler problem or the mobility problem, rather than saying drive an EV to save a planet. Sometimes when we do, and sometimes when people talk about being green or environment friendly, it becomes so intimidating that you do not want to, hey, what alone, what can I do, right?
That's auto expensive. Like you hear EV and it becomes expensive.
So what we do is make it very easy, accessible. We sachet the entire battery and give it at an affordable rate for that entire generation to come.
So how does it work? People are still buying it, or is it a lease sort of platform?
Yeah, it's a lease. So there is a daily, weekly, monthly, which is very self-explanatory. What we also have is something we call community, which are present in 8 colleges and 1 housing society. So the funda is any community that we go to, imagine any college, we open a station inside it. Any student, faculty or official can take that vehicle, go anywhere in order to end the ride, has to come to point A. And we create unique digital signatures, so you and me going there cannot unlock the vehicle. It only belongs to the community that it belongs to.
Okay, interesting. And what are the monthly rates like if we were?
So it starts at the 2,200 rupees per month at the lowest rate to 5K at an i8 or a iQube luxurious.
And charging, the people have to pay for it, or?
See, invariably, yes, if it's a high-end brand like a Lux, there is a lot of shared charging locations. And anything below that is actually a swappable battery. You can just pick it out and charge it at a point where you can charge your laptop.
Got it. How many two-wheelers do you have right?
1,100.
1,100 across with geography?
So we are in one city. We are not from this neck of the wood. We are actually from Bhubaneswar, Odisha.
Okay.
So we have 1,100 vehicles as of now. Since Jan 2020, we have served more than 20,000 users.
Great.
We were PAT positive last year with 1.5 crore revenue. We will be PAT positive this year with a 2.5 crore revenue.
Amazing. That is so good to hear. That's so good to hear. Are you looking at raising funds?
Yes, we are. Because more on the supply side, we have Small Industries Development Bank of India who has backed us. We have a line of credit from them as well. We also are in terms of operating lease, are backed by MBSI, which is a subsidiary of Yamaha Motor Company, Japan. So the bike side is done. So what happens when you look at 18 to 25-year-old youngsters, let's not say kids, 18 to 25 youngsters, and you have solved their mobility, the next question is where to go. Right? So that's an entire discovery that's yet to be built, because all our bikes are telematics, active, smart batteries. We have huge chunk of data, right? So the need of the equity that we need to raise is to build that intelligence, build that discovery on the basis of on the top of the customer data that we have.
And you mentioned you're in Bhubaneswar right now, right? So how many such battery swapping stations are there which can be utilized?
So we actually do not have battery swapping. So while invariably when we say LMD, last mile delivery, gig workers, they actually clock a lot of distance to earn. But if you look at a personal commute, even data suggests that if you have a look at it, nobody commutes more than 25 kilometers on a personal level.
Yeah.
If they do, they invariably jump into a metro or a local train in Bombay or a bus.
Correct.
If it's a personal usage, it's invariably 25 and maybe 30 kilometers. So that does not need a lot of swap. So we do not actually, with more than 20,000 customers, we have 0 swap stations.
Understood. And how old is the company again?
We started in Jan 2020, got incorporated in July 2020.
And what are the revenues like?
So like I said, this year we'll finish at 2.5 crores of revenue.
Okay. Right. And you are looking for funds in the tune of?
Around $1 million.
And most of it is going to go into buying more vehicles?
No, so that's the funda. Since we have SIDBI and MBSI now, it will not go in there.
Got it.
It will go more at developing the embedded software, hardware, telematics device, data. See, every time a bike switch is turned on, I have a data.
Yeah.
So we'll have to make sense of those huge data and build marketing intelligence on top of it.
Understood. And no plans to raise money for marketing?
Actually, our customer lifetime value is around 21,000. Our cost of customer acquisition is 26 rupees.
Okay.
So we are more word of mouth than anything else.
Understood. But probably that's more because you're still in one city.
Yeah, so I expect it to grow. If we go down to the basics, like when my first job, someone told me, so you have product, price, place, promotion, right? You are pricing the product so that you can promote. Why not price it in a way that you do not need to promote?
No, that's a good one. No, definitely. I think there's something all entrepreneurs should take away, from this conversation. Right. Anything else in particular you want to tell us about the geography expansion or the vehicle kind of expansion?
See, geography is very clear. We want to go to a metro because that's a itch you need to scratch because of the sheer market size.
Yeah.
But we believe the future of our organization lies in the Jaipurs, Jabalpur, tier 2, tier 3 because look at Delhi today. Delhi is not a personal two-wheeler friendly commute city.
Yeah.
Right? So there are cities which are primarily two-wheelers. Those are huge markets that we can go to. Yeah, but we'll definitely try a metro because the market size is always interesting. But our focus will always remain on the Indores, the Jabalpurs of the world.
So, but immediately you're saying that the focus will be more on building the back end and then expanding into other geographies. Tier 2s will happen after
in
that.
terms of, so our unit economics is basically 37%, 38% of gross margin, which is pretty high for mobility. So we are sorted in terms of operations and vehicle scaling. That's the data, the building, non-vehicular revenue that we call.
Right.
So we have vehicular revenue. Building the non-vehicular revenue is where the most of the budget goes in, and especially hardware, software embedded hardware engineers, they don't come cheap.
Yeah, true. How did you think of this business?
See, it all started with 3 vehicles. In 2 days, 700 customers kind of test rode a vehicle. So we thought that, okay, if they like it, they'll probably use it. We were ready to start in March 2020, but everybody stopped commuting. So we had a few vehicles on hand with 0 customers. So there was a lot of time to actually lay the foundation.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. And any competitors in the market?
See, there is, of course, Zip in Delhi, right? But they are into LMD, like last mile deliveries and stuff. We focus more on the B2C side, personal commute, personal ownership, urban commute. So there is another one in Bangalore, but they're half the fleet size that we are.
Yeah. But if you get a B2B sort of order, it would be somewhat on the lines of Zip Electric.
No, we have done B2B as a matter of fact with Tata projects. What we do is we lease the vehicle to the company rather than individuals.
Correct.
And the company pays. They decide who takes the vehicle.
Right.
We don't do that.
And what part of business comes from B2B versus B2C?
B2B is less. B2B is...
You intend to stay like that?
Yes.
Understood. Where do you see the business in 5 years?
See, 5 years we should be at least in 10 to 12 cities. And I expect the non-vehicular revenue to contribute around 25% of the revenue at that point of time.
Non-vehicle revenue.
Yeah. So
What's that?
So that's what I said, right? My customer, normally when you look at micro mobility and the way it is in India today, you are picked up from point A, dropped in point B, then again you have to haggle with the rider to come from point B to point A. So what we believe is life is not what happens on commute, it's what happens in between commute. In the community model or the other model, I give you the freedom of having a vehicle for your own. So what happens? Invariably, time is my currency rather than my rich. So I have a lot of data that I can work on. So like I said, if you have solved mobility up to a certain degree for a certain set of customers, where to go? So where to go is a huge part of our business that we want to build.
Got it.
That's the equity. That's the reason we want to raise it.
Right. Any way to utilize advertising as a part of the business model?
Yeah, that will be there. So it's not only advertising, it's very curated advertising for the set of users that we have. I mean, for an example, I know you take my bike and hang out at a cafe at least thrice a week, right? And tomorrow you are just using your mobile to unlock a vehicle, and I have partnered with 3 cafes that probably suit your...
In-app advertising.
In-app advertising, curation actually more than advertising. I don't want to... It has bottom of the funnel conversion.
Got it. Makes sense. Great. I think any one last thought that you want to share with the possible customers who might use?
I'm sorry for keeping you on waitlist. I need to raise fund. We have 1,300 people on waitlist as of today. I'm sorry to keep you on waitlist. Please write in comments that help them raise funds so that I can give you bikes quickly.
Great. Now, lovely speaking to you, Anirban. Thank you so much.